Last time on Jujutsu Kaisen, the third first year is introduced. Goju Sensei also puts her to the test along with Itadori. The test wasn't very easy, and it wasn't very difficult either. In the end, both Itadori and Kuchisaki managed to go through it without any major hiccups. And then they get sushi. That's more or less how the last episode went. If you're interested in hearing more from me about that episode, you should check out my review. Now, in the last episode we saw a prologue which was about this new arc that started today. There's some kind of womb-like cursed spirit that appeared out of nowhere, and even people who are not Jujutsu sorcerers can see it. Also, this prologue was narrated like an epilogue. It was indicating that these events have already happened and that one of the Jujutsu High's first year students is now dead. It's time to see if that death was a misdirection or something that will actually happen. All three of the first years are at the scene, asking some supervisor for details, and this guy seems to know a lot about Jujutsu sorcerers. He even explains to Itadori a lot of stuff that he obviously doesn't know. Like the people who are not Jujutsu sorcerers but they can see cursed spirits are called windows. Plus, he also tells them if the womb-like cursed object goes through a metamorphosis, then it will become a special grade cursed spirit. Time for a lesson. Let's learn about the grading matrix of these cursed spirits. It starts from grade 4 and goes all the way up to 1, and then special grade. Grade 4 spirits are weak and you can take care of them with a wooden bat. For grade 3, you will require something like a handgun. For grade 2, even a shotgun might not be enough. And for grade 1, even if you bring in a tank, it still may be insufficient. However, as for special grade, just to get to the same level, you'll have to carpet bomb it with cluster bombs. Of course, if the curse actually happens to be a special grade, these three have no chance of getting out of there alive, as something like this requires Goju Sensei's assistance. However, since he is out on some business, they have no choice but to do something about the situation. And just when they are about to go inside, somebody's mom appears, and that somebody is inside with that cursed object. Now, what I want you guys to look at here is not the scene itself, it's how they presented it. The mother was obviously devastated, her son was inside and she has no way of knowing if he is even alive. However, none of these three went ahead and assured her that they will bring her son back alive. They did decide that they were going to save him though. And this scene reminded me of why this anime is horror. But little did I know about what else was to come. The supervisor uses some curse and puts a veil around the building, and then they go inside. But it looks like the physics inside the building wasn't feeling good. The inside is totally different. It's like they are in a different dimension. Even the door behind them just disappears. As all of this is happening, we get to see a few light moments. But then they find the body of one of the victims. He is the son of that mother, and no matter how you look at it, he is beyond repair. Both Fushiguro and Itadori start arguing about if they should carry his body outside or not, and then suddenly, Kuchisaki gets swallowed by the floor. Even Fushiguro's demon dog, who should have sensed that curse, is in a terrible state, if not dead. This was when the anime transitioned to its actual theme. You see, the start of the episode seemed kind of expected, but then too many things started going wrong about 8 minutes in. And bingo. Just like that, the curse they are supposed to take care of is right in their faces. And this one is a special grade. Both of them are unable to move because of the intensity of the curse. When Itadori pushes through and takes a swing with his cursed blade, he gets his whole hand cut off. Man, that must have hurt. Meanwhile, Kuchisaki appears to be taking on a surplus number of flying smug faces. Fushiguro is desperately scouting the area with his summon, trying to find her. As for Itadori, he made the decision, as both Fushiguro and Kuchisaki make their way out of here, he will try to hold the cursed spirit back. And then, when they escape, he's gonna let Sukuna take charge. But he won't do it right away because knowing Sukuna, there's no telling what he might do once he's out. This was probably the best strategy, and I admit, I did think that it would take care of the situation, at least for now. Instead, for Itadori, it becomes a moment of some massive character reflection and then ultimately, development. He realizes the insane amount of Jujutsu gap between him and the spirit. And the more he strives, the worse the situation gets. It was hurting him so much that it made Itadori question everything. His mind goes into a loop. He questions why he ate the second finger. He questions why he ate the first finger. He questions everything that led him to where he is now. He does not want to die. He just wants to run away. And then he even questions his death. If he dies here, would his death even be proper? During all of this, a string of flashbacks started playing in the back of his head as he falls into the rabbit hole. On the other hand, Fushiguro successfully manages to retrieve Kuchisaki, but that scene only lasts a few seconds before we are brought back to the rationality of Itadori's mind. Only this time, he remembers something. He remembers that negative emotions are the source of cursed power, so he lets it all out. All the hate, fear, regret, everything. Puts it all into his fist and throws a big punch, which of course was nothing to the cursed spirit. Things were pretty intense at this point. Only a few minutes were left till the end of the episode. Fortunately, both Fushiguro and Kuchisaki make it out just in the nick of time, and on Fushiguro's signal, Itadori finally lets Sukuna out. The atmosphere suddenly changes, and the cursed spirit's attitude also changes. Before it was playing around with Itadori, and now it just seems to be wetting his pants in front of Sukuna, even though Sukuna had no plans of fighting it. It becomes too afraid and ends up attacking him. And now it's Sukuna who's playing around with the spirit. He even regenerates both of Itadori's hands. I've got to say, if only 2 fingers of Sukuna are this strong, then how strong is someone like Goju Sensei? Back to Fushiguro. He sends a supervisor off with Kuchisaki, and now he is the only one within a kilometer of the building. He knows if things go south, he has to be the one to end Itadori's life. Meanwhile, Sukuna is toying with the spirit. He creates this new dimensional domain and just slices off the spirit into 5 slices. Inside the spirit, he finds another one of his fingers, and it seems like he already knew it was there. And now, the final moments of this episode. Sukuna is done, so he tells Itadori that he can switch back. But Itadori doesn't respond, and I'm sure you saw the look on Sukuna's face after he realizes that Itadori is not responding. It was literally the look of freedom. The episode ends right there and then. There's a short clip on how to take phone calls after the ending song, but we're just going to skip that. So guys, what are your thoughts on this episode? Don't forget to comment down below what you thought about Jujutsu Kaisen episode 4. And if you enjoyed the video, enjoyed the review, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps. And if you're new here and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Anyways, as always, I'm the Bearded Saiyan. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.